It's a beautiful Saturday morning. It's frigid cold out, and I decided that I wanted to try, because this is going to be my first time doing it, in my quick cooker, sous vide egg bites. I went to Starbucks once, had their Gruyere cheese egg bites, and they were custardy and delicious, and I've always wanted to try it, and I figured now that I'm doing the videos, why not now? So we're going to experiment together in the kitchen making sous vide egg bites in my Pampered Chef Quick Cooker. If you have an Instapot, you can do the same thing in your Instapot. It's pretty easy. We'll find out if it's easy, won't we? And I have one of these handy dandy little silicone egg bite dishes for the egg bites. I think you can use little glass pinch bowls if you wanted to and put them on the trivets. I don't see why that wouldn't work. You know, we experiment in this kitchen. I just happen to have this, so I'm going to use this. If I didn't have this, that's what I would use. So come along with me for the ride. It's going to be fun. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. First thing we're going to do, I bought some smoked Gouda. Yum. Because I'm not using meat in this recipe. It calls for bacon, but I don't want to use bacon in this one, but I still want to get the smoky flavor. So I'm going to grate up, and I'm going to use a little bit of the finer grate on this because eventually it's going to go into my measuring cup, and I'm going to use my immersion blender to really make it nice and smooth. They said if you use your immersion blender, then the egg bites will come out custardy, and that's exactly what I want. I'm using my handy dandy little piggy measuring cup that my sister-in-law Maureen gave me. And you know what, Maureen, you can make these if you want to try it. You have your Instapot. I've never done it before, so hopefully this will be helpful. So it calls for about a half a cup of cheese. I think I did a little bit more, but let's see. I'm going to put it in my little piggy. All right, we got a little bit more cheese than we need, but I'm going to put that into my measuring cup. I've got a little bit of chive. It called for some green onion. I didn't want a really strong oniony flavor, so I wanted chives. Chives gives everything like it's a little milder than your green onion, though green onions are pretty mild. I just like the green of the chives. I think that'll look really nice in our sous vide. And I'm not really going to measure this because I don't really, I like chive. It calls for about 1 stalk of a green onion, but these are so adorable. Oop, I got some big long stalks, so make sure that you get all that. And I'd say that's probably about less than 1/4 cup. We'll add that to our handy dandy bowl here. It's my big Pampered Chef measuring cup. And one of the big ingredients that I don't usually keep in my refrigerator for the sous vide eggs is cottage cheese. 1/4 cup of cottage cheese. So I pre-measured that. I used a whole milk cottage cheese because for those of you that are doing keto and whatnot, I think this would qualify for this. And you could put meat in it, you could put ham, you could put bacon, but I'm just going to do the cottage cheese, chives, and some smoked Gouda cheese. I've got that all in my bowl, and it calls for 4 eggs. So we're going to crack 4 eggs into the bowl. So called for about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to estimate the salt. And it calls for some pepper. And, you know, 1/8 of a teaspoon. You can eyeball it depending on how you like it. I kind of like pepper. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get my immersion blender all set up, and then we'll come back and we'll immersion blend it. And then we're going to pour it into our silicone bowls, which I have to spray with a little bit of non-stick spray so that we don't have any problem getting the egg bites out. and then we'll go from there. One of the things that they said to add to this particular recipe that I didn't see in a lot of the recipes was to add just about 1/4 teaspoon of soy sauce. I'm going to do that because why not? I mean, more flavor, I'll add it. So I'm not going to measure, of course, because that's not how I roll. So I'm going to just put a little splash of soy sauce into that mix. And now for the adventure. I have my immersion blender. I've had this immersion blender for probably, I don't know, 20 years, probably more. So we're going to put it in. If you don't have an immersion blender, you don't need it. Just use a fork, whip it up, make sure that it's in nice and low. And blend that up. That's nice and smooth. There we go. We have immersion blended our eggs, cheese, chives, salt, pepper, and a little bit of soy sauce. And now I'm going to pour it into my mold. All right. Now I've got my little silicone bowl. The recipe says that if you have one of these, you wrap it up in tin foil so that it can steam inside, but I happen to have one of these handy dandy covers. So I'm going to cover my sous vide and I'm going to put it in a little trivet. Well, the trivet's in there, little thing with handles. I can't think of the name right now, but who cares? We're going to put it in that, and then we're going to put it in my quick cooker with 1 cup of water. So you're going to put 1 cup of water in your quick cooker. We're going to lower the eggs into the quick cooker, and then we're going to set it for 9 minutes. I'm going to do it on steam. Well, actually, you know, when you pressure cook with water in it, it pretty much is all steam. But this recipe is for an Instapot. Instapot says 9 minutes high pressure. I don't have a high pressure, so I would imagine that chicken or poultry or beef and pork would be high pressure. So I'm going to give that a go. And we'll see how it comes out. I took the lid off and I can see through the little plastic container that they look pretty well done. And since I'm the only camera operator here, I'm going to have to pause it and take them out. Oh my God, guys. I don't think these sous vide eggs could have come out any more perfect. Let's cut into it and see. And that is exactly how it should look on the inside. It looks like it's creamy. Oh yes. Look at that. Unbelievable. Those are perfect. I will be doing this recipe again. How easy was this? 4 eggs, some chives, some cheese, any kind of cheese you want. 9 minutes in your Instapot with a cup of water. Let it release naturally for 6 minutes and pull them out. And this is the wonderful egg sous vide, egg bites that you can have for breakfast this morning. Try it.